Welcome back to the Nissan Nismo Insider. I'm Alicia Kelly, and today we've made our way to our tyre storage area to take a look at how we manage our stock of these black round things. Now, tyres are one of the most important parts of any race car. Why? Because they're the only thing that separates the race car from the road. But what good are the tyres after the boys have thrashed them at a race meeting? Well, they have many purposes, and the man in charge of managing our stock of spare rubber is Ian McPhee, otherwise known to the team as Foo. Foo, there's so many tyres in this shop. How do you go about managing all these?
Good question. Basically what we do with the tyres, when we come home from an event, we actually obviously strip the tyres from the wheels, and then we go through, and as you can see by all the measurements on these tyres, we measure the tyres, which then gives us an idea of how much tyre wear there's been after each event. So then that all gets collated and goes back to the engineers, so then can make the decisions whether the tyre's good enough to reuse or to be scrapped. As you can see by here, there's quite a few crosses on those ones, so they'll be going back soon.
Generally, how many tyres do we have here?
I think there's only a limit of how many per car you can actually have. I think it's 80, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong on that. But we never have that many because the way the tyre rules are now, you just don't get enough tyres. So by the time you come home, they're all basically like these ones here, which are sort of pretty well worn out. So.
And we see you running around at the track taking tyre pressures. What exactly is that for?
Basically, our job at the actual racetrack is to, whatever the engineers decide they want to have the tyres to run at, that's our job to keep them at that. So whether that's taking out a couple of pound here or maybe putting some back in as we go through the day, but it's just basically to keep the things at a stable pressure, just so that when the driver goes out each time, the tyres are consistent, so there's no big changes. So
with all the coating on the tyres, can you explain what exactly happens, how you scrape them back?
Well, basically with the heat gun we just warm the tyre up, and as you can see we scrape the rubber off, and then this number here is the actual tyre number, and that's just where it was from, where it was last used at the Gold Coast, and that's how much rubber's left on the tyre. They roughly start out about 3 millimetres, so looking at that, that's pretty well worn out, so that's basically what the numbers mean.
We get asked all the time if people can have one of these tyres to make a coffee table or something else at home. Is that something we're allowed to do?
We're not directly, no. Maybe if you spoke to Dunlop they may be able to help you, but all our tyres are barcoded, which are allocated to each vehicle, so then we have to then return them once we're finished with them, so no, we can't give them away, unfortunately.
And what do they do with them once they're returned?
I think they just get destroyed, basically. It's just that so that's their actual product, so we don't actually own the tyre, we just sort of pay a lease if you like, so after we finish with them we have to return them.
For more information on Nissan Motorsport, head to our website. And to catch up on past episodes of the Nismo Insider, click here now.